back on the campus of USC for the second duel in a triple header on Pac-12 Network's opening day. USC back-to-back NCAA champions facing their crosstown rival, third-ranked UCLA. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us again. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside three-time Olympian Holly McPeak. This is the middle match, if you will, of the triple header today, a rematch of last year's Pac-12 semifinals and finals.
And UCLA was the only team to beat USC all last year, and it was exciting at the Pac-12 tournament, but now they get a rematch. It's a lot of new faces, though. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for USC, they were defending NCAA champions. They had won 62 straight duels before running into UCLA last year, ended up losing to them 2-3. USC now has graduated a lot of talent. What's new for USC?
Everything. I think this is a completely new chapter for Anna Collier and USC, graduating 5 seniors who provided leadership, experience, everything. But lots of new, young, talented faces who now have the opportunity to carry on that Trojan tradition, according to Anna Collier.
Yep, and they are going to be facing UCLA who just came off a dual win over Pepperdine. And so we're going to start this match as we did the last one, with the first flight of action. Court 1 and 2 will be the 4 and 5 pairs starting things off. And so the 5 pairs, Muret and Carey, who you already know from UCLA, versus Kaiser and Poletto. But we're going to turn our action to court number 1 to start off our action. It's the 4 pairs, Jenna Belton and Joe Kremer, who were the 5 pairs for UCLA much of last year.
For USC.
For USC, excuse me, for last year, and now have moved to the 4 pair versus May and Simo.
And Belton, Kremer, 2 seniors, very experienced, very steady, great volleyball IQ, and just smooth. And they're going to play Savvy Simo, the experienced beach player, and Mac May, the kind of the upstart, 6'3" indoor player, learning to play the beach game.
Immediately, May and Simo collide going for the serve. Belton swings, kill.
Beautiful hand set by Joe Kremer, putting up a nice ball for Jenna Belton, and Savvy Simo got a good touch on it, just can't control it.
We talked about youth throughout many of these teams. While not here for USC, the double senior team, very steady team. There have been times last year that Anna Collier didn't even send a coach to coach them when they were at 5s.
Well, Joe Kremer, so experienced. I love her game. I saw her in high school, love her footwork. Just she knows the game, she understands, and they both together really complement each other.
Anna Collier calls them Steady Eddie. Belton at the net, Simo hitting. Her sunglasses are on her visor, sun coming in and out. Great up by Simo.
How about that play by Savvy Simo? And then Mac May with the deep poke shot gets it to drop. But, you know, I can't tell if Savvy Simo doesn't want to play with glasses or she forgot to pull him down, because sun's definitely in her face on that side of the net.
I know, I had the same thought. You want to yell out, glasses are on your visor, but at the same time, right, she's going into digging in the shade. At times, I mean, I don't know. Does it affect you?
Well, it was cloudy the first match, and she played with them on her head the whole time, not on her face. So maybe she just likes them up there.
A safety blanket. We'll see. Belton serves Simo. Simo crushing. Kremer digs, waits for Belton to get a piece of it, and she does. Simo again looking for line. Steady. Belton just puts it up, trusting Kremer can get there.
Just patience. USC, these 2 seniors, patient, waiting for their opportunity to score, and they get it. Ball is set too tight by Mac May, the freshman from Iowa, and USC capitalizes.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier, kind of making Mac May set the ball. She doesn't set it indoors. She is the bigger player. Never over.
Joe Kremer frustrated with herself. She saw the opening. Her brain was working faster than her arm. Missed opportunity for USC.
Kremer sees Mac May in front of her. Cuts.
Joe Kremer so good with her hand, hitting that ball wide cross court away from the defender. Good USC lead on the side change, 5-2.
Meanwhile, taking a look at court number 2 in the 5 pairs, Muret and Carey out to a strong start versus Kaiser and Poletto.
Maya Kaiser and Alexandra Poletto trying to earn that 5 spot for USC. Coach Anna Collier trying out lots of different teams in that spot.
Yep, Carey in that 7-2 lead. 3 of those are off of her blocks. Kremer's serve hits the net. Simo. Wide.
You know, you have to minimize your errors playing against a team like Belton and Kremer. They'll just continue to put the pressure on you. They might not do anything spectacular, but they do everything well, and it puts a lot of pressure on their opponents. How about that dig by Joe Kremer?
And a little shot, Simo into the net. Anna Collier has told us over the last 5 years the way she's recruiting has changed so much, because for Anna Collier, she says, I can now, the depth talent, the pool of talent is so deep, I can recruit the kind of player I need. Do I need a big? Do I need a defensive player?
Yeah, the talent pool, like I said, the grassroots is just exploding, and there's athletes all over the country who see what Anna Collier has done here at USC, and they're dying to come play for her, and you can understand why. She's fantastic.
Yeah, and she said, I can be selective now. Before, it used to be just grabbing the best player I could and plugging them in. So as you mentioned, she's still changing things around, seeing what she can find in terms of the best chemistry.
Well, she likes the blocker defender, the traditional team. That's what she likes, and not every case is going to be like that. For the most part, she likes a blocker who goes up to the net all the time and a full-time defender.
Take a look at this USC team. They're 3-time defending national champions, back-to-back NCAA champions, because 2016 was the first year for the NCAA championship. In addition to seeing their winning record, look how the number of opportunities they've had go up every year.
And that's important. If you want to compete, you need and play your best volleyball, you need to compete more often. And you see last year, 38 wins, but they had 39 opportunities to play and compete and get better.
Yeah, and they're 42-4 at home. They have not lost a duel here at Merle Norman Stadium since March of 2016. You couldn't pick 2 more heated rivalries for Anna Collier and USC.
42-4 here at Merle Norman Stadium on the campus of USC.
Kremer serving. Belton up. Into the net as May and Simo having trouble getting the rhythm.
But USC earning that point because Belton retreated off the net, dug a ball, and put enough pressure on UCLA to score that point.
Serving Simo. Kremer. Ooh, that was a wicked cut coming off her hand.
It's windy, and I think the ball's moving a little bit, but Joe Kremer had the right idea. Ball's just dropping so fast she can't get her hand on that ball.
Simo serve to Kremer. Kremer is crafty. There's the left hand, by the way. You talked about it earlier. Oh, savvy Simo, right-handed stab.
Are you kidding me? Savvy Simo lays it out left side with her left hand, right side with her right hand. This is textbook. And then Joe Kremer with the over on one dig takes advantage of the fact that Savvy Simo just went from side to side covering the backcourt.
That is nasty, and I totally respect it. A great play.
Belton Kremer, the experience on their side of the net, taking advantage of May and Simo in this wind.
Slow side switch, Dane Blanton coaching at USC. You see him talking. Dane Blanton's a bit of a steady Eddie also as a coach. He coached Clays and Hughes, the #1 pair for USC for many years, including watching them have a lot of success as pros now.
Dane Blanton, just even keeled, a great motivator. He obviously some wonderful experience on the court that he can share, but super even-keeled. He doesn't need to be a rah-rah guy, especially for a team like Belton and Kremer.
Yeah, no, he's got an Olympic gold medal, also played indoor for Pepperdine. 4th season as beach volleyball volunteer assistant coach for USC. No question about it, Dane Blanton will be leading a program someday on his own. Belton.
Jenna Belton, patient, waiting for that opening there. You see Dane Blanton, proud father.
Yes.
4 weeks ago, had a baby boy, and just loving the role that he's playing as dad.
That's also a volunteer role, by the way. Unpaid as a parent. Savvy Simo. Deep to Belton. What a crush. Belton and Kremer looking like they're on auto drive.
Jenna Belton looks really aggressive, getting her feet to the ball. Good snap on the ball with her left arm. Nice consistency offensively, and UCLA struggling to control it.
Simo down the middle.
Jenna Belton there. She's like, what just happened? I was right there. Can't take your eye off the ball at any point.
Simo serving. On 2.
How about that? Joe Kremer lifts that short serve, and then Jenna Belton to the corner, coffin corner for the USC kill.
Holly, when we talk about partnerships, you can really see how these two in particular have formed a true partnership. There's just a smoothness to the way that they play.
Wow, savvy Simo. She's a defensive specialist for the indoor team at UCLA, but she can get up and bring the heat offensively for UCLA.
Mac May serving for the Bruins. Simo again, this time Kremer there.
Kremer so good, just steady, controlling that ball, putting it up at the net for her partner, Jenna Belton.
Belton on 2 consistently off of Kremer.
But, you know, you think, oh, she's hitting it on 2 a lot. But that means the first contact has to be very well controlled. And that's what Joe Kremer does.
No, that's what I'm saying exactly. And so you look at court 1, the 4 pairs, Belton and Kremer leading on court number 1. Let's take a look at court number 2, where the 5 pairs are playing here. It's Izzy Carey and Megan Muret, who won their match against Pepperdine, leading Kaiser and Poletto of USC. Poletto, new to USC this year, just finished her indoor responsibilities with Colorado State. And so we're going to step away as the first flight of action between these crosstown rivals, UCLA and USC.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles.
Pac-12 Beach Volleyball is brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Welcome back to LA. Yeah, it's sunny, but it's a little brisk, about 60 degrees here at Merle Norman Stadium. Wind gusting at times. Court 2, UCLA and USC underway. Muret and Carey leading Kaiser and Poletto in their first set.
And Coach Anna Collier for USC looking for an answer at the 5s pair. She's tried 3 or 4 different combinations, and Izzy Carey and Megan Muret pretty solid at that spot for UCLA. Izzy Carey just so confident with her hands that time, does not get there to deliver a clean hand set.
Yep, and meanwhile she's trying some new things out, right? This is part of the influence of Jeff Alzina, who is there trying some new sets, and with the new play sets has come new confidence to try some different things, according to head coach Stein Metzger. USCLA leading 19-11.
Well, I think when you're running play sets, you have to focus on better ball control, because if you do not pass the ball well, you are not going to be able to run a play set. So it just, I think, puts more pressure and more focus on every contact.
Ball's up. Well played as Izzy Carey puts it down off that freshman Muret set.
Very nice. Izzy Carey, so experienced, starting with an overhand dig after she retreats from the net and then slices and dices for UCLA.
The Bruins junior freshman combination now at set point.
What a run by Megan Muret. She read it, just clipped the top of the tape and kind of took a turn, and she could not control it.
Set point number 2 for Muret and Carey. Kaiser serve. Poletto, first season on the beach. And a net violation for USC will end the set. Muret and Carey win the first set. And so as set number 1 goes to UCLA, we return to the action on court number 1. Belton and Kremer still in control.
Yeah, Belton Kremer just so steady against Megan Simo, controlling this first set 18-11, and UCLA is going to need to find a way to score off Belton and Kremer.
This part of the year is all about figuring out your strengths, and for Stein-Metzger, he seems to have found something on Carey and Muret. For Anna Collier, Belton and Kremer have been one of her standards throughout her seasons.
I'll tell you, Jo Kremer is the most confident volleyball player right now. She is just feeling it. Nice forward hand set. She saw the opening, put enough pace, and set it cleanly over the net for the USC point.
In fact, Belton and Kremer, when they were a 5 team last year, were the only and the first Pac-12 Player of the Week to be pair of the week to be awarded to a 5 team. That's how steady this team has been for SC.
That time, Savvy Simo seeing the open line shot, pretty well executed, just about 3 inches long.
Set point USC on court number 1. Simo pass. Simo crushing.
There you see what Savvy Simo can do. She and McNamara, if they continue to play together, you know, they were scheduled, it was supposed to be Savvy Simo with Zana Muno, very experienced, athletic beach volleyball player, but Zana Muno right now not healthy, and McNamara stepping in. So it's going to be interesting to see the future if this team sticks together or if Zana Muno inserted back in the spot in the lineup.
And with the deep ball falling, set number 1, it goes to Belton and Kremer. So again, the 4 and 5s split the first set. USC's 4s take set number 1. Welcome back to Merle Norman Stadium. First flight of action of the second duel of the day. Crosstown rivals UCLA and USC. On court number 1, pair 4, Belton and Kremer. The steady eddies took set 1 from May and Simo, but we're going to return our attention to court number 2 for the 5 pairs, where Carey and Muret took set number 1 from the new team at Kaiser and Poletto.
Poletto provides a lot of size. She's a grad student, 6'3" from Toronto. Very physical. Played her indoor career at Colorado State. Anna Collier wants her to be part of the lineup with that size and that physicality. Just finding the right combination. Who can be that defender behind her?
Another one to the deep corner. That is Kaiser.
Maya Kaiser, you know, I look at her and I think she should be a blocker at 6 feet out of Texas, but she's the defender here. But who do you serve on a team with 2 girls 6 feet? They're going after Maya Kaiser. That time she hits the ball line and wide.
And there's Gustavo Rocha in his first season as USC assistant coach. He is the yin to Anna Collier's yang, she says. She said he softens her edge.
Definitely. Anna's so intense, and Gustavo's even-keeled. He makes things a little bit more fun, and you need that balance in a coaching staff. You can't have everybody be like Anna.
Yeah, and by the way, that all comes from Anna. That's not us saying it. She says it's nice to have him balance me out. Of course, Anna coached you as well, and she really sought out Gustavo for his expertise, but also because he is able to be a little bit different from her.
Gustavo Rocha is from Brazil. He brings new drills, a fresh new attitude. So USC really benefiting from having Gustavo as part of the coaching staff here at USC.
USC approaching this match against Carey and Muret a little bit differently. We watched Pepperdine serve Muret the whole beginning of the match. USC first went to Carey.
Well, you have to play to your strengths, and if you're Kaiser and Poletto, you want to play a power game. You've got size. You don't want to play a little finesse shot games where you're having to run all over the court. You want to play power. So they're going after the bigger hitter, which is probably Izzy Carey in this situation for UCLA.
That's nice control from Muret out of the net.
Absolutely. She's patient, gets under that ball, and then the lefty, Izzy Carey, to the middle.
Kaiser.
That ball set too tight to the net for Maya Kaiser by Alexandra Poletto. And Izzy Carey, she's not the biggest blocker on the net, but she's very efficient with her hands.
One of the scariest things for fans, anyway, watching the game is when a coach has to split up a terrific pair like Martin and Wheeler for USC were split up last year for part of it. When you see Carey and she's not with Zappia, who she had so much success with, it really tells you the depth of the team that the coach is able to do that.
Yeah, sometimes splitting up a very good team and making two pretty good teams, you need that in a college program where you need 5 good pairs, and the experience that Carey brings to the freshman Megan Muret in that pair is really important, and Zappia playing with Maddie Yeomans. You know, you're creating more strong pairs, and that's the goal of a college coach.
How about that? A couple of big blocks by Carey and then an up by Muret.
And it looked like she dug that with her left hand. She went with the correct hand, and it paid off. Megan Muret, so long and lanky. She knows the game well. The one thing I'd love to see her change, I'd love to see her shorten her approach. I think it'll give her more offensive range, especially when they're trying to run that quick offense. She'll be able to get on top of it or shoot the ball with her good hand.
So how does having a shorter approach let you get on top of it?
Well, if you're trying to run a 4-step approach on a low set, it's hard to time it and get it at the height of your jump. It's hard to get the ball at the height of your jump with a 4-step. A 3-step shortens everything up and makes you more efficient with your footwork. Poletto passes Kaiser to the net, and then Poletto with the over pokey cross.
And Poletto is not going to have a lot of time to work on her game. She's a grad student, played for Colorado State. The team made it to the regionals, played against Stanford earlier this year. She's just got this year at USC.
Yeah, but for her size and physicality, Anna's trying to really get the most out of her, and knows that at the 5 spot, with the right partner, she could really put a lot of pressure on other teams.
Carey up against the much longer Poletto, just sees the court well.
Well, if you're USC, the other team has to go up and over Poletto. So as the defender, you need to read that and go get it. Maya Kaiser, not a true defender. She's kind of a player who could play up at the net or back. But if they had a true defender behind Poletto, I think they could be really tough to beat.
Pick that up. And crossing out.
Wow, good scramble play. USC winning that long rally, but Izzy Carey trying to go hard cross court, just missing it wide after that one arm stab. Good aggressive swing, going for it.
Low outside. Ball is high, plenty of time, no blocker on, off the top of the net.
I feel like if you're a defender, you need to be stopped to get that dribbler off the top of the net. You can't be leaning one way or the other. It kind of drops, I don't know, 10 feet back. Somebody's got to touch that ball if you're UCLA.
Yeah, Kaiser's had 6 kills. Hand set, super low. You see UCLA trying some new things.
Yeah, no, I like the concept. I like it, but I don't feel like you're maximizing Megan Muret's offense. As she gets more reps and feels more comfortable with it, great, but I don't think it's opening things up for her offensively yet.
We're going to step away again as the heated action on court number 2. It's a 1-point differential with Muret and Carey, Kaiser, and Poletto.
Of the UCLA.
Recruiter.com/Pac12.
Welcome back. First flight of action in duel number 2, court number 1. Belton and Kremer took set 1, but it's tied up in set 2 as May and Simo have found a groove. We'll return to the action in a moment, though, on court number 2, where the 5 pairs are battling it out. Muret and Carey have already won 3 sets today. They took down Pepperdine in 2 sets for the first point of the duel. They're up by 1 in the second set. Ball in the air on court number 2. And on the low set, a kill by Muret.
Great pass by Muret, pretty hand set, but you see Megan Muret cannot get on top of that ball. She can't get her feet all the way to the ball to get on top of that ball offensively. If they just lift that set for her a little bit more or shorten her approach a little bit, I think it will be better for UCLA.
The 4-step approach, an indoor approach, typically?
Yes. Megan Muret needs to push off and dig that ball, but well-placed little short cut shot to the middle by Maya Kaiser.
Carey set, Muret high off hands.
USC unable to run down that shot. This is a high line off the big block. Maya Kaiser trying to get a hand on that one.
What a serve.
How about that short serve by Megan Muret? Well placed. Maya Kaiser actually touches it. They just can't get under it and get it over the net for USC.
UCLA's freshman-junior pair now +3 in set number 2, +4 with that error.
Izzy Carey just patrolling the net for UCLA, pushing her hands over anything tight. She's making an efficient block move for UCLA, and they go up 15-11 in the second set.
Gustavo taking a timeout to talk with his team. Holly, you're a coach. You played in 3 Olympics. If you were coaching USC, what would you be telling Kaiser and Poletto right now?
Well, for one, move your feet. If they pass the ball, they have the physicality to go up and over the block and really dominate offensively, but they need to pass, and then they need to serve a little bit better to put more pressure on the team from UCLA.
And this USC team, one of the most successful teams in the history of beach volleyball. They're 4-0 overall this season. But if you look at the big picture, they've won 104 of their last 107 duels. It's that note at the bottom, though, that really tells the story.
4 of 5 pairs have new partners. When we talked to Anna Collier last week, she told us her pairs completely different this week. A small injury and everything shifts. So USC has some stuff to figure out, and once they get everybody healthy, it's going to be interesting. We might see things change, but in the meantime, the players who are getting chances to compete are gaining valuable experiences.
Yeah, and you also get an opportunity to show everybody, your coach, your partner, what you can do, who you can work with. A nice up using her left hand. Pulling off is Carey. Muret. Doug. And the set was over. Carey pounced on it.
Well, if you go back to the beginning of that rally, Alexandra Poletto, with her size, 6'3", Izzy Carey gets a good defensive touch and keeps the rally alive. And then that time, Carey just patrolling the net, getting that overset.
Put down, but out.
Alexandra Poletto, she's got the size for USC at the net and goes up and hammers it. Right mentality, just hit wide.
A 5-1 run for UCLA. And now the side switch.
And the experience of Izzy Carey really keeping things calm for her freshman partner, Muret. And if you're looking at the USC side of the net, these are basically two freshmen in terms of beach volleyball players in college. Poletto, a grad student, but this is her first year competing on the beach, and Maya Kaiser, a freshman. Lots of unforced offensive errors, and offense is what these two from USC should be doing best.
Carey up and going right around her. It's Kaiser.
That time Poletto put up a beautiful apex set, and Maya Kaiser finds an opening down the line.
Why is the apex of the set important to you?
Well, when you see an apex as a hitter, you see it and you go get it. It's important. If you don't know where it's going or if it's pushed wide, it's hard to know where to get with your feet as a hitter.
7-point lead for Muret and Carey as they're looking to put the first point of the duel on the board. Carey sets Muret, the big block in front of her, and again just finds that back corner. It is match point for UCLA's 5-pair.
Nice balance from UCLA. Both players with double-digit kills.
For the match. And Izzy Carey and Muret, a good day of work with a win over Pepperdine and a win over USC.
It's funny, Izzy Carey ran back to serve that ball. She was focused. She didn't even know the set was over, let alone the match.
First point of the duel on the board. UCLA leading USC 1-0 thanks to their 5-pair of Carey and Muret.
And interesting for Carey and Muret, who struggled in Hawaii this past weekend, kind of finding a rhythm today.
Sometimes it only takes that one or two experiences together, but Stein Metzger, the head coach of UCLA, looking at his team, all smiles, a junior and freshman, getting the first point in both duels today, both against Pepperdine and against USC.
You can tell when Stein Metzger's feeling it, and he's feeling it today, giving his team 5, talking about what they did well, kind of a post-game wrap-up.
Really gnarly blocking, the highest compliment you can get from Stein Metzger.
Exactly, I like it.
Let's go back to watch Dane Blanton, another Olympian and Olympic gold medalist, talking to Belton and Kremer, his stars for USC. The Steady Eddies, if you will, leading set number 2.
And experience just really serving them well today. They're controlling the whole tempo of this match, and I think they're really taking advantage of May's inexperience. It's a little breezy. This is, one of her first top collegiate challenges, and she's got a very experienced team on the other side of the net.
Belton. That one into Figueroa.
Wow. Belton putting some heat on that.
And I really don't know how that works. I've driven on Figueroa a million times. This is between the basketball complex, the Galen Center, and beach volleyball, and I have never had a volleyball land on my car.
Because you're here usually.
Or there.
Yeah, or there. That's
either way.
True.
Belton and Kremer controlling the second set. And this is what makes it such an exciting team sport. Belton and Kremer win this one, they'll just tie it back up.
Kremer's digging everything for USC. Jenna Belton's got her track shoes, running it down. Couple times Joe Kremer in transition, going for that little short roll shot in area 3, which is short middle on the court, but not dropping that last play.
Down the line, what a serve, ripped by McNamara.
Laser beam, high point of contact, just flat, right down the line. Beautiful serve by McNamara.
Kremer. Trying to turn that one, and it doesn't happen.
Simo running that ball down, but McNamara, new to the game, does not like step around that ball and take a look and poke it somewhere where they're not. She blindly swings at it.
There's a lot of converted indoor players on this court. Of course, May and Simo currently on UCLA's indoor team. Kremer played indoor for Notre Dame before coming here.
Simo attacking that middle ball with heat when she gets a chance. Watch this ball right down the middle. Jenna Belton does a good job sticking her arm out, trying to control that ball.
Belton. Lefty going at McNamara. Just patrolling the net is Jenna Belton.
McNamara needs to own the net at her size. She's new, so she's not comfortable like reaching over and going and getting balls, but that's something that she's going to do well in the future.
Kremer serve to Simo. Door closed by Jenna Belton, and it is match point for USC's 4-pair.
I think one of the interesting things that Stein-Metzger told us is when they asked everybody who they wanted to play with, everyone wanted to play with Simo. So that says a lot about her personality-wise and as a competitor.
Can USC even the duel? McNamara, that time patrolling the net.
That time she did a better job getting her feet there, making sure that ball did not clear the tape for the other team.
Side switch as the sun goes down. UCLA only got back from Hawaii just 2 days ago. They only had 1 day to practice yesterday.
Well, they flew home on the red eye Sunday night. Red eyes from Hawaii are killer. I don't know how you rebound. It takes me about a week.
I talked to Sarah Sponcil earlier, and she said they were freezing in practice yesterday. It has been uncharacteristically cold, and with the service error, Belton and Kremer take the point for USC. And so it's tied up 1-1 before our second flight of action. We didn't expect anything else in this crosstown rivalry.
At Maui Gym, we're in
Prudential, bring your challenges.
Welcome back. USC and UCLA tied up at 1 apiece after the first flight of action at Merle Norman Stadium. Hey everybody, Anne-Marie Anderson alongside Holly McPeak. This is opening day for Pac-12 beach volleyball. 34 matches on Pac-12's air this season.
Nobody covering beach volleyball like the Pac-12 network, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I love doing this.
Yeah, and taking a look at this triple header today, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. Let's take a look at this crosstown rivalry. USC and UCLA just finished their first flight of action. The 4s and 5s going at it. Of course, they split. That's how we ended up 1-1. So let's take a look at the 4s first. Simo and May had some trouble getting going against the Steady Eddies of USC.
Steady Eddie is right. Jenna Belton and Joe Kremer were so solid. They used their experience, chipped away, and Simo, as athletic and experienced as she is, could only do so much. I think experience was the biggest factor in that matchup.
Belton and Kremer became the first 5-pair to ever win a Pac-12 Pair of the Week last year when they were 5s. They've moved up. Meanwhile, for Simo and May, there's a big upside there for this pair. They haven't had a lot of experience together.
Oh, yeah. McNamara just joined the beach team, and she is getting her reps. All the other girls had reps all fall long and grew up playing the sport. So McNamara has a lot of upside. When she learns the little small things in the game, she is going to improve rapidly.
Well, let's take a look at the 5 pairs. That one, on the other hand, was won by Muret and Carey of UCLA.
Muret, so experienced. She's grown up on the beach. I remember seeing her as a little freshman. She was a tiny, skinny little thing, but the way she moved around the court, you know, I said she got that with her left hand. She didn't. She got it with her right hand, but it was still a good dig. But I think Megan Muret has a lot of upside too, as long as she's played a long time. She understands the game, but I think playing with Izzy all season long is going to help her really elevate her game. You see pretty much domination at the 5 pair by Muret and Carey, and then the same thing, but in USC's favor at pair 4.
Yeah, Kaiser and Poletto on the 5 pairs for USC is something new that Anna Collier has been trying. Collier is looking for the right 5 pair for this program.
Anna has a lot of talent, and big talent, and she's just looking for the right combination. You only have Alexandra Poletto for 1 year. You really want to maximize her 6'3" length at the net if you can.
Now, coming up next is the first flight, or we'll call it the second flight of action, with the 1, 2, and 3 pairs. At the ones for UCLA are the McNamaras, the identical twins who dominated Pepperdine.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun matchup because the McNamaras are both 5'9", and they're playing Therese Cannon, who at 6'3" provides a lot of length at the net. She's probably closer to 6'2". And Abril Bustamante playing defense behind her first year at ones for Abril Bustamante. So it's going to be a fun matchup. You're going to have the size at the net for USC and the superior ball control for UCLA.
And meanwhile, at the twos, it's going to be thrilling because Lily Justine and Sarah Sponcil, who were terrific the first time around, are going to be facing USC in a pair that just moved into the seconds.
Yeah, Joy Dennis, who's a fantastic athlete, and Brianna Sizemore will be new at twos, and they face up better against 2 big hitters. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up.
Yep, and we'll tell you all about everybody. Zappia, Yeomans, and Hallgren and Slater will be the third teams. When we come back, we'll take you through the 1, 2, and 3 pair second flight of action. It's all tied up in these crosstown rivals, USC and UCLA. More action coming up on the other side of this break.
There are 2 ways to
1954.
Pac-12 Beach Volleyball is brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Beautiful late winter day in Los Angeles. UCLA and USC crosstown rivals opening things up on Pac-12 Network today. Opening day of action, triple header, and we're about to see the second flight. The McNamara twins for USC against Bustamante and Cannon. Or UCLA versus USC's Bustamante and Cannon.
Well, we talked about it earlier when we talked to Anna Collier. She had a lineup prepared, one player out with a lineup, and everybody shifted up. So they've only been together since last weekend, basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just a couple days till today. So they're new together, but they're already the Pac-12 pair of the week. Abril Bustamante out of Redondo Beach, she's a junior, and Therese Cannon out of New York, a senior, who brings some big size and power at the net.
Yeah, very exciting for USC to have that kind of depth, to be able to move things around, even though it isn't fun. They're able to do it. You mentioned that they lost 5 key seniors. And so for Anna Collier to find depth within her program is really important. Of course, Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays. I don't know that any pair will dominate collegiate beach volleyball again the way that those two did. Here's the 5 seniors that they lost.
Well, all of them have gone on to play at the next level professionally. Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes competing in an FIVB event this weekend in Fort Lauderdale. Allie Wheeler at grad school, but she's been playing on the AVP tour. Sophie Bukovic competing on the FIVB tour, and then of course Sarah Hughes, who partners with Kelly Clays.
Yeah, partners with Kelly Clays and won AVP events last year, FIVB events. And it's really something for the growth of this sport, because Clays and Hughes so dominated this sport. But I really don't think, Holly, that will be able to happen. I mean, they won 100 straight matches.
Yeah, I with the depth and the parity across the country, I don't see that happening again.
No, 103 actually, when you really look at it. And that's a great thing for beach volleyball. Of course, they'll always remember winning 103. But, well, the action now shows you the depth here as we look at the top 3 pairings for these two teams. As usual, on court 2, Sponcil and Justine, Dennis and Sizemore. On court 3, Yeomans and Zappia, Hallgren and Slater. But we're going to start our attention on court 1 with the 1 pairs, the McNamaras versus Bustamante and Cannon.
Abril Bustamante at the service line. Service there to start things off now. UCLA with a 1-0 lead and the serve.
You mentioned it earlier, the height advantage certainly goes to USC, but in the beach game, it isn't necessarily all about length.
No, it's about ball control, strategy, who maximizes opportunities.
The McNamara's discovered beach volleyball while on vacation in Mexico, completely fell in love with it, and as junior players were playing internationally before they ever went to college. Nice lift. That's Megan McNamara. She's the right-hander, number 31. What power from Bustamante.
Abril Bustamante, you saw her indoor. She was a middle blocker. She can either defend or block, but Anna Collier really likes her as a defender because she can get up and bang after she digs a ball.
Megan McNamara, just beautiful control. Excuse me, that was Megan.
No, that was Nicole.
That was Nicole. Identicals with mirror numbers. They also put on long jerseys when it's warm out, and it is definitely not. Last year, Nicole would tape her shoulder, kind of indicating to many fans which one was the left-hander, and so eventually they caught on that, and they both taped their left shoulder.
Well-placed high poke shot down the line by Abril Bustamante, also known as April Bustamante. If people think I'm saying it's funny, it's A-B-R-I-L. Mom from Spain, dad from Argentina. She is fluent in both languages, English and Spanish. And Nicole McNamara gets the cut shot to drop.
Nicole McNamara, a deadly cut shot. She's a lefty. We saw it in the first duel as well. And a lefty with a great cut shot is tough.
You have to get this McNamara team who's undersized out of position, and that's not easy to do. A little shank in the pass, a little tweak in the set, and then you can capitalize with your defense, but it's not easy to do.
Simply because they make every touch count. Steinmetzger has talked about their work ethic and how they have been elevated at UCLA in the last 3 years once they joined this program.
McNamara is going after Bustamante to start off this match.
Nicole straight down the middle. Beautiful by Bustamante.
Bustamante doesn't just have finesse, she's got power. She can hit from the right or left sides. In the experience, she grew up on the beach playing, has a nice all-around game.
These are two veteran teams when we're talking about lots of reconfiguration. Bustamante, a junior, Cannon, a senior. Hands. Don't see a lot of hand setting from USC, but UCLA, supreme confidence.
How about that? Just the scramble play, and Nicole McNamara going down the line. April Bustamante digs it, and then you just can't control it on the other side to get a second contact.
Power off the net. Here comes Nicole with her left hand coming in, and a double contact called on USC.
Right now, ball control heavily in favor of UCLA, at least the way they are playing. They are maximizing each touch, taking care of the ball and ending rallies.
UCLA's Steinmetzger has always said ball control trumps all. That's the number one thing that he preaches to his team, and there is no better ball control team than the McNamaras. Down the line as court one, a 2-point lead for UCLA. The other courts, of course, continuing action as well. Sponcil and Justine with a 3-point lead over USC's Dennis and Sizemore. On court number 3, Yeomans and Zappia with a 2-point lead against Hallgren and Slater. 1-1 coming into this flight of action, the 4 and 5 pair split, much like we saw in the Pepperdine UCLA match as well, the duel.
It really adds more pressure to the second flight when you come in at 1-1. Sense of urgency, taking care of the match on your court.
UCLA won that duel against Pepperdine at the 3-1 mark. They went on to a 3-2 finish against Pepperdine.
Therese Cannon last year playing with Nicolette Martin had a fantastic season for USC. Really found her potential, bombing her jump serve and really tough to stop defensively.
Yeah, and as you build on that and talking about Cannon, the year before in 2016, Anna Collier told us that Cannon felt like she should be in the lineup that year, but wasn't consistent enough. And she worked so hard, she went from USC's 6 pairs to the 3. And Anna Collier really liked the way that Cannon went after it, took the criticism, took the critique, and worked with it.
And if you want to learn and you want to be the best, you need to do that. And I think with Nicolette Martin on her side, really coaching her, getting her going, giving her lots of confidence, telling her to stay aggressive, it really helped her evolve as a player.
Yeah, and the setting was really a point of focus for Anna Collier, saying that Cannon's setting really needed to improve. It did, especially in transition. Here's another opportunity for Cannon to show it. High line by Megan McNamara.
Bustamante and Cannon, they need to put away transition balls. You can't give the McNamaras a second chance. You dig a ball, you get a good set to the net and terminate. That's how you need to win this match.
Bustamante up with Nicole in front of her. Decisive put down by Bustamante.
You see that aggressive approach, using her size advantage and bringing the power from the right side of it. Bustamante, perfect pass, and then Cannon pushes her up to the net. Sharp angle with power for USC.
Little pokey, Megan just puts it away.
McNamara is so good at ball control, moving the ball around the court.
Shadows have now come across most of the court, really only in the entire stadium, one half of one court still showing sun. Bustamante up. Off the block.
Good aggressive swing. When you're aggressive like that, good things happen. She made high enough contact that the block could not control it back into the court.
Well, you've talked about that, right? The length of the McNamara is at only 5'9". It's one thing that they haven't been able to control. Setting, just perfect, turning down the line, and it's just a little wide.
Well, I like that late jump into the angle by USC.
1 point lead by USC on court number 1.
Home of the USC Trojans.
Good at life, New York life.
Second flight of action between USC and UCLA underway on court 2. UCLA leading USC in set number 1. On court 3, USC with the slight advantage. The duel is tied up at 1 apiece. We return to the action on court number 1 with the top pairs for both of these programs, and it is close. In other words, as you look at all that, it couldn't be any closer.
No, and that's what makes it so exciting, this format. Best 3 of 5.
Therese Cannon serving for USC. Court number 1 has 3 juniors and a senior on it. Some of the most veterans, hands pulled out, just perfection.
Beautiful, hard approach by Megan McNamara, and then perfectly executed high line shot. Good hand contact. Look at the spin on that ball, keeping it in the court for UCLA.
Power cross court to Bustamante. Jumping into the cross was Nicole.
Nicole and Megan, they're undersized. They need to take little risks like that to make digs. That time jumping into the angle, but Abdul Bustamante, very experienced, sees that and takes advantage.
Replay as a ball came onto the court. So the point just completely replayed. Bustamante back to serve again. Power. Megan passes. Nicole, perfect hands.
A very rare hitting error by the McNamaras. Hit long, and USC up by 2 in this first set.
They serve Nicole this time, back set. And that one does hit the back line. Holly, I know that you're one of the best setters in the world and have been. As you look at Nicole McNamara pull out her hands time and time again, does that impress you or strike you in any way?
I love watching it. Like I said, it's not easy. You really need to focus on good footwork and getting in a good position to touch the ball in a nice soft way. So it's a lot of work and it's a lot of confidence, and I love seeing that from these young players.
A couple of great plays by the McNamaras. First of all, hitting the back line. Then Megan McNamara closes the door on Bustamante. Nicole serve back at Bustamante. Wow.
Bustamante threading the needle down the line. Really nice swing there. This is way inside of the court, but the hand contact from Bustamante taking that away from the defender towards the line.
Cannon pulls that up. Megan setting the left-hander, Nicole. She owns every spot on this court.
And how about the pace on that ball? You need it. If you hit that slow, the defender can run it down. But Nicole puts enough pace on this ball that Bustamante on the run cannot get there.
Let's go, Haley.
Megan McNamara back to serve. They have been serving Bustamante as of late. This one right between the two. Bustamante passes it. Oh, she turns it away.
Nice offensive range. Therese Cannon putting up a really nice hittable set.
Meanwhile, let's pop in into court number 2. 17-10. Now 18-10 on the side switch. Lily Justine has been dominating the court.
Brianna Sizemore and Joy Dennis, they played at 3s and now are at 2s for USC. They match up better against a team that likes to hammer because they're both big. They don't want to play that little shot game, but Sarah Sponcil and Lily Justine have enough experience, especially with Sarah Sponcil, to be able to take advantage of that.
Sarah Sponcil serves.
What a swing by Lily Justine. Almost took Sizemore's head off. Good flat, deep hit.
Sarah Sponcil said by the end of yesterday's practice she could not feel her hands. Of course, from Arizona, lived here and tried to catch that one.
How about that touch from Sarah Sponcil flying out of the backcourt, but both she and Justine going for that same short ball, and then nobody up to get the second one.
Joy Dennis serving. Dennis and Sizemore, a big hole to dig out of. Look at the pause of Sarah Sponcil.
So much confidence. She doesn't even have to face, but it comes out really nice. You teach setters to get to the ball and try and face your target.
Set point for Sponcil and Justine. Served Joy Dennis. Picked up. Sponcil, a terrific crafty hitter, puts it away, and UCLA takes set number 1 in the 2 pairs. Let's pop over to court number 3 where UCLA is also in control, Zappia and Yeomans. And now it's tied up at 19 apiece, and then USC goes ahead.
Sammy Slater and Haley Hallgren spent the entire summer last summer competing on the beach in all the junior events together and ended up winning, I believe it was the Junior Olympics on the beach. So they have a nice chemistry together.
Zappia. And here comes Slater, popping it over. The return is wide, and USC takes the first set off of Zappia and Yeomans. Anna Collier coaching Hallgren and Slater.
That's a good win for the 2 freshmen. Right now, UCLA at 3 need to figure out how to capitalize on opportunities.
The action ending quickly around these courts, and so while Slater and Hallgren take set number 1, it is set point on court number 1. Ball is wide, and the McNamaras take set number 1 over Bustamante and Cannon. So the 1s and 2s for UCLA pick up the first set. USC's 3s pick up the first set. Action fast and furious. It's tied up at 1 apiece in this crosstown rivalry duel.
When we put up
Crosstown rivalry opening day of Pac-12's coverage of beach volleyball. USC and UCLA squared up at 1 apiece in this second duel of our triple header. 3 courts of action going on concurrently in the second flight here. Court 1, the McNamaras took the first set over Bustamante and Cannon. On court 2, Justine and Sponcil with a first set win over Dennis and Sizemore, but we're going to turn our attention to court number 3, where the only true freshman team we have seen today, Hallgren and Slater, face the senior and sophomore Zappia and Yeomans of UCLA. Holly, only true freshmen we've seen, but you mentioned they have a lot of experience not only playing, but playing together.
And they dominated the U18 or under 18 competition on the beach this summer, played together, knowing that they had a good chance to play together and come in and contribute to USC right away. So they have nice chemistry, very comfortable playing with one another. And they're both big enough where they can split. Haley Hallgren from Texas will serve the ball, and Sammy Slater at the net.
An ace serve from Hallgren.
Haley Hallgren's little sister also planning on coming to compete here at USC. Big Texas contingency liking to come to USC and compete.
Yeah, they again, beach volleyball spreading so much. They have their first player from Hawaii this season as well. USC has been kind of spreading their wings a little bit. Perry Green, we'll see, I'm sure, at some point throughout her career. She's a competitive surfer. First Hawaii player to come to USC. Hallgren and Slater have delivered. Anna Collier, all smiles.
Anna Collier really enjoying these 2 young freshmen. Haley Hallgren asked some really good questions. She's learning. She's a lot stronger. Haley's mom said she needed a whole new wardrobe when she came home because she has some newfound muscles.
Zappia passes.
Good fast attack by Elise Zappia, going at the dropping defender.
It's pretty remarkable to come in as true freshmen, not only just even be able to make the court, which most don't, but to be in the 3 pairs. Tried to turn it a little too much, never over.
That ball set a little bit tight. Maddie Yeomans cutting off the angles.
"34 duels on Pac-12 networks this year. Nobody else covers beach volleyball the way Pac-12 does. Some of the best programs in the country in the Pac-12 conference, including today, seeing 2 teams in the top 5 from the Pac-12.
Back-to-back hitting errors for Haley Hallgren. That ball set tight to the net. Maddie Yeomans blocking the line, but Haley Hallgren trying to sneak it by the blocker instead of going around or over. Anna Collier mentoring this young freshman team on court 3.
Again, just a little shot where they're not from Hallgren.
Well, it's interesting. If you're UCLA, the other play worked with Yeomans blocking the line, Zappia on the angle. They decided to mix it up and kind of open the door for Haley to find some open court.
Little poke. Looking for the corner, putting it someplace different.
Well, you just see the smart, I guess the volleyball IQ from a freshman like Haley. She sees Maddie Yeomans get off the net, and just goes deep over her. That's good court vision, nice experience, and volleyball IQ from her.
Yeah, meanwhile, if you're Yeomans, what's the key to dropping more successfully?
Well, you need to drop and get your hips turned around so you can react to whatever she's going to do. If she goes over your head, at least you can turn and sprint.
Yeah, she was kind of caught a little bit in no man's land there, but she comes back with a block.
Anna talking to her team, keeping them focused on what they need to do. Sometimes freshmen don't make in-match adjustments like they should because of lack of experience, but I feel like these two are pretty experienced. She's just kind of keeping them on course and focused.
Yeah, Anna Collier, we asked her what her priorities were with this team after graduating 5 seniors, and she said concept number 1 is really understanding the culture that she wants to build. She took this team on a retreat up to Malibu, worked with a lot of sports psychologists, talked about part of leadership is being able to follow as well. And so working with these freshmen who she can anticipate are going to be leaders someday in her program. Deep ball is out. Slater and Hallgren holding themselves well against some more veteran Zappia and Yeomans.
Yeah, I feel like Maddie Yeomans and Elise Zappia need to minimize their errors and play within their own game, like maximize what they do and do it well. That was a nice side out play. Maddie Yeomans staying aggressive, good looking side out for UCLA.
Ball's up. Slater, long.
Sammy Slater is playing on the right side. She's a lefty, but she comes really straight in. In my mind, that kind of limits her offense. If she can like angle her approach a little bit more, I think it will allow her to attack into that angle better.
There's another opportunity for her, but the set is not successful, and it ends up being a trouble play.
That's a play UCLA needs to capitalize on, but for USC, it's a break. Little short ball. Maddie Yeomans needs to go up and be aggressive, and she reverse pokies under her side of the net instead of finishing the play. Go to the deep corner.
Reverse pokey. Did you just make that up? I've never heard an actual name for it.
Well,
having it go back.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to happen.
Exactly.
You have to get behind the ball and direct it where you want. If you get underneath it and get that backspin, it's going to come backwards, and not something you want to see on your side of the net.
No, reverse on your side of the net is a bad thing. We're going to step away as Slater, Hallgren, Zappia, and Yeomans trade blows back and forth. This duel is tied up at 1 apiece.
There are 2 winners today.
Welcome back. Beach volleyball on Pac-12 and Networks. Crosstown rivalry in the second duel of a triple header today. UCLA and USC tied up at 1 apiece. As 3 courts of action are going on, let's go over to court number 2. Lily Justine and Sarah Sponcil of UCLA won set number 1 handily, but Dennis and Sizemore have responded, and it's tied up.
Joy Dennis, one of the most physically talented players in the USC volleyball program. She can dominate physically. It's just finding the right matchup, the right partner to push her in the right way.
What a pretty set by Sponcil.
And for USC, they're trying to figure out who to score off. Do you go off Lily? Do you try and go at Sarah, who moves the ball well around the court?
Serving Joy Dennis there, and door is closed by Lily Justine.
Boy, that feels good when you jump in big to somebody's angle and they give it to you. And Lily Justine, look, she crouches and then shuts it down. Wow, beautiful block by Lily Justine.
They keep the serve on Joy Dennis. Little. Here's Sponcil. Ball comes back at her. What an up by Lily Justine. And now Sponcil is stuck blocking.
Sarah Sponcil can block. She just hesitated to jump, and Joy Dennis annihilates that cross court. What a cover by Lily Justine. Sarah Sponcil's feet got under her and she could not jump.
Tied up at 14 apiece. This is important for Dennis and Sizemore to find the ability to answer back because they were spanked pretty hard in set number 1, 21-11.
And they really struggled for USC when they were out in the desert, could not get a rhythm going as a team and get some victories, although they had one good win over the weekend.
Dennis having to do the majority of the passing since we joined them in this set number 2, and she can put it away.
Brianna Sizemore, a junior, she's new to the game, but vocal, fiery, good energy. She puts up a pretty good set on that tight pass.
Dennis playing with some urgency and some fire. Sponcil puts it away at Sizemore.
Nice, quick, kind of a shovel set to Sponcil, who gets on it quick for UCLA.
Dennis, little long. Point UCLA. They're up now by 2.
Teams like to challenge Joy Dennis. Yes, she's physical. She likes to hit the ball straight down. She'll probably make the highlight reel, but she also usually give you a few errors as well.
Lily Justine pops that first one up, and Sizemore decides to try to attack it.
Well, I like the aggressive thought in her mind, but she was too early and did not execute that play for USC.
So USC going to sit down as it's a 3-point lead for UCLA. If UCLA is able to win this set, they win the match, they win the match, they win a point, and put the Bruins up 2-1.
And it's all coming down one set at a time. Right there you see Gustavo Hocha getting his team focused on what they need to do on court 2.
Yeah, let's go over to court 3 where UCLA a 1-point lead. Zappia and Yeomans against the true freshman team for USC.
Elise Zappia needs to stay on her feet, keep moving. She's taking a step and falling down. If she can stay on her feet and run those balls down, I think that can be a difference maker for UCLA.
Hallgren and Slater took set number 1 over Zappia and Yeomans. It was a close set.
That ball hit wide by Maddie Yeomans. She came in confident in that shot, just did not execute it the way she wanted to.
Yeomans.
Elise Zappia tells Maddie Yeomans she wants to switch sides, but instead they call a timeout.
So Slater and Hallgren leading by 2, but we'll go back to court number 2 where Joy Dennis is up to attack. And she does.
See what I mean? It's like a highlight reel or it's out. So I think UCLA kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen more often. But impressive hit by Joy Dennis, one of the most physically talented players on the beach.
Justine and Sponcil trying to win this set, get another point for UCLA in this duel. Dennis back to serve, and then realizes they're out of rotation, and so Sizemore serving for USC. Sponcil. And now you've had an opportunity to see some of the setting from Lily Justine. What are your impressions?
I like it. When the ball's in front of her and she gets her platform, gives it a nice apex, and Sarah Sponcil moving the ball around the court really well.
You know, you can tell me when somebody's setting you and you're a great setter and they're not a very good setter. Is that frustrating? You can tell me. I won't tell anybody.
I mean, obviously, ideally, when you play the sport of beach volleyball, you want a partner who can set the ball well. That's important, especially if you're running around digging the ball. If you get a nice set, you're rewarded for your dig and your hustle. If you get a lousy set, you're like, why did I just crush myself to get that ball?
And when somebody can set like Sarah Sponcil or like you, touch the net, she wanted to eat it up so bad.
She wanted to annihilate that. Good aggressive air.
Well, USC in the driver's seat on the right side of your screen. 18-17, the true freshmen Slater and Hallgren. On the left side, Justine and Sponcil steamrolling their way, and as Sponcil puts that away, left side of your screen is match point.
You see Sarah Sponcil. This is something that young players should watch. Hit it, if you're going to hit it at the retreating blocker, hit it hard so they can't control it. It bounces off them, like pings off it. Don't hit it off speed right at them. Foot fault by Sarah Sponcil on that last serve. That's a break for USC, but still match point for UCLA.
Left side of your screen, match point. They serve. Sponcil. Off Dennis. Broken play, and of course Sponcil puts it away. Justine and Sponcil in straight sets over Dennis and Sizemore. Quickly, look at the right side of your screen. It is match point for USC, Slater and Hallgren. So right now, UCLA leading this duel 2-1, but Slater and Hallgren with the next point have an opportunity to tie it up at 2-2 and put all the pressure on court number 1.
And
that does it.
About that, an ace from Sammy Slater to score that second point.
This is what makes this team concept so exciting. Just like that, it's 2-2. And all the pressure comes back to court number 1. The McNamaras won set number 1. And they are leading 18-14 in set number 2. Everybody rushing over to court number 1 now, where Bustamante and Cannon and the McNamaras know something special is happening.
I'll tell you, when everything's on the line, if you're Stein-Metzger, you want it to be on the McNamaras.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
They do not take a play off, and boy, are they intense.
The McNamaras have been the one pair for UCLA since they came in as freshmen, winning in Portugal internationally on their 17th birthday.
You know what I'm impressed? They're from Canada. Yes, they fell in love with the sport on vacation, but to get the proper coaching and to be as technically sound as they are, that's what's really impressive. I know Kira Ionone, who is now the head coach at University Alabama Birmingham for beach volleyball, coached them in Canada as juniors. So she deserves a lot of credit for guiding them and working on their footwork because they are so technically sound. It's not easy in the sport of beach volleyball to get that level of coaching at an early age.
Yeah, Ionone, before she went to UAB, was an assistant for Steve Walker at Arizona, where she coached another set of identical twins in the Witt sisters.
And you know what's funny about that? I asked her, how many twins have you coached? She said she coached 2 set of boy twins in Canada as well. So it's a very common thing in the sport of beach volleyball for some reason. I guess you've got a built-in partner.
And meanwhile, for Bustamante and Cannon, this is a team that doesn't have much experience. They're being tested here, much experience together as it compared to the McNamaras.
But they're 2 great players. Therese Cannon, a really good blocker. Abel Bustamante, a solid defender who can win at any level. I think the next level, both players can be pros.
Bustamante passes. And what a nice shot by Bustamante. Finds that line.
Perfect. Perfectly placed, going over the line block with some pace.
And here's what you really need for Bustamante and Cannon. You can't let the McNamaras get another point ideally, because then it is match point and dual point. Got to fight it off one at a time. Easier said than done. Lefty, Nicole. Beautifully dug by Cannon. Bustamante puts it up. It's inside. They're on the run. Hammer wide.
Megan McNamara going for it, getting her feet to that ball to hit that sharp angle, just missing it wide. I love the way the McNamaras look at each other and just push each other. Hey, next play, right back. Really positive, and that's so important when your partner believes in you.
Bustamante serve. Back to Nicole McNamara. Cannon blocks. Here's the opportunity for SC. Little shot. Got 2 crafty McNamaras against the power of SC.
2 2 players, one for UCLA, one for SC, being too tentative. You need to terminate at this point in the match. If you're UCLA, you do not want USC gaining any momentum at this point in the match. And if you're USC, you need to do all it takes to score points.
UCLA, as you look at that all-time record versus USC, that one really was a big one. It was in the semifinals of the Pac-12 tournament last year.
Yeah, it was exciting.
It was a 3-2 win, and then meanwhile USC answered back in the finals with another 3-2 win. This is the second duel of the day. Taking a look at USC's history, they have only lost to 5 programs total, ever. Pepperdine, who has handed them the most losses, is their opponent in the next duel and our final duel of the day.
Long Beach State at 5, Florida State and Hawaii. Both of those programs are really strong this year. In my mind, 2 of the best in the country, and UCLA handed them that loss at the Pac-12 championships last year in Tucson.
Nina Matthews, the head coach of Pepperdine, Anna Collier, the head coach of USC, go way back in this rivalry, back to the days of, probably was it Marine Street playing?
Oh yeah, competitive group.
Yeah, it's a very competitive group, and so for Nina Matthews, it's her last time here at Merle Norman Stadium. Pepperdine has handed USC the most losses of any program in the country, but right now all the pressure and attention is on this crosstown rivalry, on this court number 1, tied up 2-2 in this duel. Nicole McNamara shut down by Cannon. 3 huge points by USC.
What a block, what a cover, but USC consecutive points with a lot of pressure on the line.
Look at the face of Cannon. No emotion. Each team has 12 kills apiece. Crafty wins that one, and it is now match point UCLA.
Steinmetzger feeding the service ball to Nicole McNamara.
For the duel. Megan passes. Megan McNamara back to the corner. UCLA wins the duel over USC. Our State Farm get to a better state play of the game.
What a play, starting with an aggressive serve. The McNamara set their defense up and capitalize on the opportunity, going deep to the corner. Impressive performance by those 2 McNamaras.
UCLA wins the duel over their crosstown rivals. Second time ever that the Bruins have beat the Trojans. The first time the Trojans have lost here at home since 2016. Our State Farm get to a better state play of the game, the final point.
Looking at the final point again, the McNamaras get this opportunity, and Megan McNamara to the corner. Bustamante can touch it, but not control it, sealing the duel for UCLA.
Big smiles by the McNamaras. It all came down to them, and they wanted it. It's a big win for UCLA, second program win ever. As a UCLA beat USC, but coming up next, maybe the hottest rivalry in beach volleyball, Pepperdine versus USC. For my partner Holly McPeak, our director Gary Milkus, and our producer Billy Chusett, I'm Anne-Marie Anderson. Take a quick break and we'll meet you back here. Pep versus SC next.
We now join this program.